So, Andre, can you talk about some of the new technology on the Q95?
Yes, the Q95. What we're really impressed with is actually the design of the engine, which first of all makes it far more serviceable. The serviceability of the engine is much easier. We're looking at fuel consumption, which currently is one of the main drivers, the reducing total cost of ownership, the emission technology that's in there to get us to a Tier 4 compliance, as well as the sort of the power to weight ratio, which really differentiate us from our position in the market. So yes, from a design point of view, I think it's a real feather in our cap, and very well done to the engineering team.
Can you talk about the R&D and the money that's gone into this design?
Yeah, the R&D was quite an expensive project, in the sense that we spend about 750,000 man hours on this product, with quite a number of engineering capability on it. But also, we don't so much looking at the money aspect. It is what we're putting back into the industry. What do we put back into the environment? You know, those money that we spend now in the long term is actually very cheap, in the sense that of what benefit we're bringing to our customers in the form of total cost of ownership. But I think more importantly is the environmental impact. You know, can we today spend enough to protect our environment?
Absolutely, and fuel's a big talking point therein. Are we on Euro 3 or Euro 4 with this engine?
It's on a Tier 4, Euro 4.
That's a step in the right direction.
Right. So yes, you're 100% correct. You know, fuel consumption is a key driver. If you think in most of our automotive engine industries today, you know, fuel is one of the bigger bills that's out there. And if we can save a couple of liters here and there, then we're bringing some real value to our customers.
And the 95 runs on gas as well, I presume?
Yes, gas technology is one of those. We're not yet at that stage with gas technology, but it is something that's coming. And that is very important, especially for our power generation opportunities. For people that has pipe gas, and that sort of, it makes it far more cost effective for us.
Let's say fracking goes through, what's that going to mean for your business?
Yeah, fracking is always one of those things that people say are alternative, but we still believe, because of the inroads that we're making in the Tier 4 rating, as well as the fuel consumption, that there's still a very good market for us with the 95.
And applications for this beautiful engine?
Applications is quite vast, very heavily in the power generation side. I think especially in the power generation for data centers, the technology that Cummins has in the 95 in the power gen is actually gives us like a 3 minutes delay from when there's power cut to when you at full power with this technology. Within the marine, and as you've seen here today, the marine spectrum is vast. It covers us in a whole new spectrum where we haven't played before. In the rail is also one of those areas that we target. You know, we also see some opportunity within the mining business, but we need to get our OEMs and our designers to I think we want ahead of them at this stage.
Absolutely. And the competition is obviously very, very stiff. What separates you from the pack?
Well, yes, when we're looking at our competition, is, you know, they play in the area, but I think the area where we are really differentiate ourselves is our power to weight ratio. So the bigger the piece of the metal is, the more weight you carry, the more fuel you burn. So the bigger the structure needs to be to carry. So we have an advantage there, because our engine's power to weight ratio is as the best in the market space. We're looking at our environmental point. I just think there's one of our competitors that can participate with us on that level, and then fuel consumption that really differentiate us from our position.
Slightly off topic in terms of truck engines, any plans to, internationals out of the country, any plans to put the engine in another truck? The 15 litre?
Yes, you know, it is quite sad that our American driveline truck sort of platform out of the South African market is busy depleting. But we see quite a bit happening with other ventures from India, from China, other product that comes in that brings the Cummins engine, specifically in the 11 to 15 litre range, back into the market. So there are some alternative platforms that's going to give us some opportunity in the automotive market.
Natural gas is also growing. How do you convince people to get on board with natural gas, and do we have the supply chain necessary?
Natural gas is an interesting topic, especially when we're very active in the public transport domain, especially in the bus industry. Within the we have that now in the KZN metropolitans. We see that in the Western Cape. We see that taking place in Johannesburg itself. The problem with the natural gas is, as you say correctly, is the supply chain issue. Because to move natural gas over long distances becomes a really sort of a technical concern for us, as our industries are not all piped to bring gas to the end user.
Do you see enough infrastructure being done in terms of pipeline development?
Not yet. I think for South Africans to really become acquainted with gas, we still have a little bit of to go and to really see the real benefit of natural gas for us.
Obviously, customer service is the cornerstone of your business. Backup and adequate parts and servicing.
Yes, and that is one of our values, and that is to really deliver to our customers superior aftermarket service. And if you look at the Cummins network that we have out there, and you look at not just within the Southern Africa business, but in the African business, we're really covering the continent very well. We have a few dots sort of in the Central Africa, but if you're looking at the major industrial areas within Africa, we are well represented there.
Operation Bagiso, a big talking point, a lot of investment by government. Are you seeing any knock-on effects positively for the shipping industry?
Yes, we're looking forward to see some of that money get rolling out and see how that's going to impact. Definitely with the impact in sort of dry docking and port expansions. We do see that some of the sort of Central Africa and West African business is going to start to follow through into the South African market.
African development, Angola, Mozambique, you must have your eyes on a few markets.
Oh yeah, Mozambique is one of the big areas. With the current growth forecast, Mozambique is one of the highest growth countries in South Africa, and so is Angola. So yeah, we have a very sort of aggressive growth plan for both of those two countries.
How can we encourage more traffic to go via sea?
Yeah, we South Africans and most people we very much sort of like our heavy vehicles and that sort of thing, and we also not very good in supply and demand, so we don't really plan well for the longer lead times that you get at sea freight. But I think as our supply chain industries develop more and get that right, the just-in-time principles right, we'll see more stuff coming via sea.
In terms of local manufacturing, how can we get more Cummins product made in South Africa?
For us, that's a bit of a tough one. We're currently looking at our broad-based black economic empowerment structure as well, and one of those is obviously real focus on how do you get your local manufacturing and being involved in an overseas design product. The only beneficiating cost that we really is increasing our bringing stuff into South Africa and add the value here by doing more rebuilds and bigger repairs within country, then start moving that stuff across border to have repaired.
Finally, the Q95, very environmentally friendly engine. How would you compare that to engines of the past in terms of the environmental impact?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think there's actually a comparison. If you're looking at the engines of the past, they were really sort of diesel gasless, and sort of very incomplete combustion ratios, so very sort of early oil drain intervals, because of all the incomplete, oil life expectancy was about 250 hours. If we're looking at the new technology, we're going to 1,000 hours, far more completer combustion. That's where you get your fuel savings as well as your saving in your maintenance schedules.
Are you seeing an uptake in hybrid solar to genset technology?
We have not seen that in the South African market as yet. We do look at that alternative energies, and so it is one of Cummins' key projects that we're leaving that we develop on the side. We're in the diesel business, and it's a bit of a contradicting situation, but we really do invest in looking at alternative fuels and also hybrids.
Fuel of 2030, any crystal ball there?
The fuel of 2030, if we talk about the petroleum industry, they would love to stay where it is, but if we look at where the business is going, we're going to see a far more of biofuels coming forward. That is far more environmental friendly. We have spending lots of money at the moment looking at the development of biofuel technology and that sort of things.
Specifically biofuel, are we talking recycled or growing?
It's on both areas. We're looking at on recycle to get some recycling out of the gases that comes out of recycling, as well as growing specific crops, not just maize and that, but we even looked at sort of things like cactus and that sort of products. So there's some real initiative work going on there too.
And negative connotations about biofuel, how can you educate people that this is not going to ruin the engine?
Yeah, we're still very much diesel and petrol heads in this country. So to say, well, I can put vegetable oil in my engine and it's gonna perform the same is a mind shift. But if we're looking at where our new technology go with our younger generation, I think it's one of these days the lights will go on and we will really be in the alternative fuels.
And obviously technology plays a massive part in your business, remote control and whatnot.
Oh yeah, well this is a complete different subject when we're talking for autonomous opportunity in the mining industry, not just from a health and safety point of view, from a cost production point of view. There's some real good technology going out there that we still keep a little bit of that up our sleeves, but we're doing some serious work on that front.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time, sir.